and welcome to this edition of Stream On. I'm Jim Williams, your host. Now, this week, Britbox dropped a brand new original, one that you're going to want to watch. I can assure you of that. It's called Crossfire. Now, Crossfire is a high-stakes, thrilling drama about a vacation that's gone wrong when a group of revengeful gunmen take a luxury hotel hostage and the guests are forced to make monumental life or death decisions with enormous consequences. This intricately woven story is of drama and resilience, guilt and betrayal. Crossfire is an edge-of-your-seat, sophisticated thriller with an emotional, intimate, and relatable core. Now, this Britbox original series was penned by Apple Tree Yard author Louise Dougherty, and it stars our guest, who's part of an outstanding ensemble cast, Josette Simon, who plays Dr. Miriam Adderton, a woman who's thrown into action trying to save the life of a young restaurant worker while chaos reigns supreme around her and all of her friends. You know, Josette, I gotta say that the term edge of your seat, I mean, sometimes it's thrown around quite frequently, and it doesn't live up to hype. In this case, I gotta say, Crossfire, as an edge of your seat, it lives up to all the hype.
It really does. It really does. Yeah. I mean, I remember when the script, I was away filming and I came home and the script had been couriered over to me because I like to have hard copies. And it was quite late. And I thought, oh, well, I'll read episode 1 and then tomorrow morning when I get up, I'll read the next 2. And I was still sitting on my sofa hours later because I couldn't stop turning the pages. Absolutely. You just desperately need to know what happened next. So I read all 3 in one go.
I'm not quite sure who books your holidays, but I wouldn't go back to that booking agency again anytime soon.
Well, it wasn't their fault, was it? Really, it could happen.
No, I guess not. I guess you can't really blame them for it.
It could happen anywhere.
Yeah, it could. Unfortunately, that's the situation. Now you play a doctor, Miriam,
yes.
And that your skills are put to use pretty early in the process. Is that when all of that was coming about? There's got to be, as an actor, I would imagine, some okay, I've got to do, number one, I'm playing a doctor, but not really having your normal tools about you. You were having to, as we say here in the States, MacGyver your way through it by coming up with different little things to help out and triage your way through it. It had to be a very interesting aspect from that area of acting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had to learn how to do that incredibly complex operation. So it's now something I can put to good use if anyone ever wants me to perform it. There was a medic who taught me exactly how to do that procedure, it's quite complicated. But obviously, like with anything, you need to know what it has to be correct. Even if one medic was watching and could do that, you'd be doing it for them. And I myself, I'm very thorough about things being absolutely as they should be. So yeah, I was taught and that operating technique. Yeah, which was extraordinary. I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah,
it's there's so many wonderful story lines throughout Crossfire, but I think that what makes it interesting, of the many things it does make it interesting, is that there's a weaving going from each storyline to the other storyline, and you kind of you get a little backstory as you move forward, and that's not an easy thing to do, both, I assume, as an actor as well as someone who writes the script. Can you give us a little feeling from your standpoint of how things kind of moved both forward and backwards as you were telling the story, but then also, kind of filling in the backstory as you moved along?
Well, yes, you're absolutely right. I happen to be an actor who always does a backstory with any character. I always try to think really deeply about what the backstory might be, so that wherever we come to with whatever character it is in the present, I have some feeling of what's gone before. So that's something I do anyway. So that part of it, is something I love doing. In terms of going forward, yes, that had to be something that came out of deeply immersing yourself in the character, so that you were trying to respond, as truthfully as you could in the way Miriam would respond. And then again, trusting how you felt she would be afterwards, going forward. So, the backstory thing, something I was doing, but then you had to really, really mine your character so that you could really imaginatively fill everything that the character goes through.
One of the things that was also interesting to me, unfortunately, is that, and I'm not going to tell anything out of school here. The situation has to do with terrorists being in the where you are. Unfortunately, that's a situation that we all face at this time, and it's a bit of a scary thing, but it is unfortunately a real world problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that well, no, actually, maybe it was. No, they're not particularly terrorists, but in this sort. But you're absolutely right that the scenario is something that we've become all too familiar with, and it's absolutely terrifying. And I think one of the things about this story is that many people have gone on holidays like this to a lesser or greater degree. Some resort, and there's a pool and sun lounge and reading or having a drink, and the kids are swimming, and there's someone coffee bomb. Just ordinary. You can all imagine ourselves on holiday in this scenario in some way. And so this is what's, even more terrifying, because there are all kinds of instances, whether you're on the subway or whether you're at a venue or whatever, where the unimaginable happens. The unimaginable happens, and you have no idea what you would do. And the thing about this story is, it kind of begs the question to yourself, what would I do if this happened? And it's not a question you can really answer. You might hope that you'd be brave and altruistic, or that you might, behave in a way that's admirable, or whatever, or just run for your life, or tripping over somebody who's, the point is, none of us know what we would do.
No, absolutely true. You have an outstanding ensemble cast, so it's with you. It must be also fun to be able to play off of such great actors and actresses.
Yeah, it's always fun to play off great actors and actresses. That's something that you wish for, you hope for, and it's always fantastic when it happens. So yeah, we were all pretty close, respected each other hugely, worked well, really, really well together, and that's just fantastic. Yeah, love it.
What are some of the things that you thought as an actor that as you said, you read the script, you were on the edge of your seat with it, you really, as we said, binge read it. What are some of the things that drew you to playing Miriam?
Well, now I might be biased in this, but I
would hope you would be, actually.
Well, no, but I actually think that Miriam is the bravest one in this. Actually,
I think that's fair.
Yeah, because she's GP. She's got a very solid marriage. I think the marriage between her and her husband are the is the strongest as well. She's fun, she's warm, she's kind, she's a great GP, she's an amazing friend. She's somebody you would want on your side.
Right.
But even she would not know in a situation like this what she would do. And what happens with her is that she finds resources really deep inside herself, in a way that, you know, she couldn't have imagined, really. So not only does she perform that incredibly complex operation in a terrifying setting, but she's very aware of how others are feeling. You know, she asks around about people's well-being. She digs really, really deep into herself. And I just found her an extraordinary person. You know, full stop, but then an extraordinary person in that extraordinary situation. And yeah.
She clearly was the coolest and calmest of the bunch.
Well, I don't think she was actually cool or calm, to be honest with you. I think that she was, I think she was as terrified as everybody else. But she overrode it for the greater good, which I think is an amazing, amazing thing to do. Yeah, I mean, she was absolutely shaken, witless with fear, but still managed to focus on other people. So it wasn't because of an absence of fear or terror. It was finding something greater to still push herself forward to try to help other people, which is amazing.
So really to dig deep into yourself and say, okay, I'm as afraid as everybody else, but you know, that's not going to help me right now. I need to get this done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not rationally or, you know, consciously, because because absolutely at the base of everything that she does, she is absolutely as terrified as everybody else that those people are going to be storming through that door and shoot all of them. That's always present, always present. You can hear them outside the door. You know, you hear shots. You know, at every second you feel you could lose your life. You could lose your life. So in the midst of that, to find the resources to tend to this seriously injured young woman is absolutely remarkable.
Special thanks to our guest, Josette Simon, the star of the Britbox original series Crossfire, which is now playing on Britbox. Be sure to check it out and check out all the information on the show in our show box below. We'll be back with more of Stream On right after this from Ford, and specifically the F-150. Can a truck save the planet? Well, I'll tell you what, the F-150's doing its best.
Can a truck change everything? Well, it could change our company, pointing the way forward for 180,000 of us across the globe towards a digital future with connected experiences and over-the-air updates. It can change the Rouge yet again, helping write the next chapter of American manufacturing. It can change the way we build forever, creating state-of-the-art, zero-waste to landfill facilities that change communities and regions along the way. It can change how Americans, how the world, feels about electric vehicles. It can change who we think drives a truck, who drives an EV, who drives a Ford. That's a lot for one truck to do, but this thing's just getting started. Turn it on and it will change how you think about driving, about towing, hauling, about powering a campsite or a work site. It's the only EV that's an F-150, the only EV built for tough, the only EV smart enough, fast enough, tough enough to carry our name. So can this truck change everything? Well, let's find out.
everyone, and welcome back to this edition of Stream On. I'm Jim Williams, your host. Now, if you're not one of the over 75,000 people who've joined our little family here, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, it's simple. We make it free. You can get us at the Apple Podcast Store. You can find us at Google Play. You can find us at Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify. You can find us at Audible. You can find us at Amazon Music. You can find us at iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and YouTube, just to name a few. Now, if you have an assistant device like Alexa or Google or Siri, all you have to do is ask, Alexa, please play the latest edition of Stream On with Jim Williams, and guess what? Alexa will do that for you. Now, if after all this you still cannot find us, do not worry. Pull out the Google machine, type in Stream On with Jim Williams, hit the subscribe button or the favorite button, and every week you're going to get a brand new edition of the podcast sent directly to your phone, your tablet, or to both, okay? So we make it simple. Please go out and do that for us today. We would greatly appreciate it, okay? All right, cool. Now, what a week. Man, oh man. Yellowstone, gotta say, that was pretty impressive. Yellowstone just crushed it this week. Yellowstone got into the top 20 of rated shows, and that's streaming on Paramount and Paramount Plus. And Yellowstone with Kevin Costner and the gang have just been doing fantastic numbers. Follow that up again on Paramount Plus with, The King of Tulsa, which of course is the new Sly Stallone series. And I got to tell you, it's been a really good week for Paramount Plus. But this week is going to be an interesting week for our buddies over at Peacock, because on Sunday, the World Cup begins, and all of those games will be able to be streamed on Peacock. Now, the first round of the World Cup is going to be on Peacock for free, and this is in Spanish. Okay, in Spanish, it's on Peacock. We'll get to where it is on English very soon, but let's start with Spanish first. If you want to watch them all in Spanish, you can watch them on Telemundo. Telemundo is also part, of course, of the NBC family, and so they're on Peacock. So you can get all that wonderful soccer information and fun of World Cup and all the wonderful content that they have on Peacock for free for the first round, and then, of course, it's the $4.99 subscription price for the month. So look, if you haven't tried Peacock, or for that matter, we just talked about Paramount Plus, these are two extremely well-priced content monsters, and you should have them as part of your streaming packages, okay? Now, the games in English are on Fox, okay? So if you have an over-the-air broadcast antenna, then you got it. If you have a cable subscription, then you're cool too, because it's on Fox and FS1. Now, if you want to use the Fox app, which is a very good app, by the way, Fox Sports app is a very good app. All you have to do is download it, and they'll ask for your cable information. You can put that in there, and then you can take it and listen to it in your phone, watch it in your phone, watch it on your tablet. So you become portable if you happen to be out and away and still want to keep up with all the action, okay? So that's what you do with your Fox app. Now, again, as we said before, the Spanish version is on Telemundo, and it's part of if you have a Telemundo app, you can also get it on the Telemundo app, or as we said before, you get it for free on first round anyway on Peacock. Now, you're streaming and you don't have a live streaming service. What you should do is, without question, go to Sling. For $40, you can get it, all the channels that you need for the World Cup in English, because they have a great deal with Fox and FS1, so you're going to get all of those. Plus, you're going to get all the outstanding content that Sling offers. So at $40, a month for live streaming content, you can't beat what they've got going on in Sling. All the information is in the show box below. Sling is the official live streaming service for our show, and they do an outstanding job. And I'm not just, look, I could tell you right now, and you guys know me, I am not the kind of person that is shilling for a company. We like the folks at at Sling, and they've been fantastic, and we enjoyed working with them. And to me, they are the best service out there. So check it out. All right. Okay. Final special thanks again to the folks at Britbox, and specifically our guest for today. And Josette, Josette was fantastic. She and the entire group do an outstanding job on Crossfire. So be sure to go out there and take a look, because it really is an outstanding show. So check out Josette Simon and Crossfire on Britbox this week. Okay? All right, folks, until next time, have a very safe and enjoyable Thanksgiving week, and we'll be back with you next week on Stream On. For everybody here at Stream On, we wish you a safe and a happy holiday.